Hello one all, as we review the Ascendance of the Bookworm Season 2 finale. Wow, this was a really touching moment here. As Myne reflects on how horribly she treated her mother in her past life, she realizes how much she hasn't really been appreciating her family in this life. And this isn't really something you typically see in isekai. I mean, the whole transport to fantasy world genre can basically split into two separate categories. The first is where the MC is all about getting back to their original world. They'll do whatever they can. That's their whole focus and point of their journey. And the second is where the MC has really no hope or no interest in going back to the original world and doesn't really bring it up at all. But for it to be brought up this far into the series really emphasizes how much Myne has grown. I mean, her past life, and even at the start of this life, Myne was all about the books, doing whatever she could to get a hold of more books, and you really did not want to get her in her way. I mean, she came fairly close to using the crushing on her own mother at one point. But then by the end of the first series, she's offered an opportunity. She could either choose to go live with a noble, live a long life with plenty of books, or stay with her family and die, never having even held a book in this life. And she chose her family. She chose them because they were the people she truly did care about. Even more so than the books. And that was an amazing sign of growth that I did not realize. I mean, yes, Myne is still obsessed with books to the point where she almost used the crushing on Fran when he interrupted her reading. That was pretty funny. But then later on, she put her duties as director of the orphanage ahead of her reading, saying that she couldn't enjoy the books properly knowing that those kids were suffering, so she was trying to do everything in her power to improve their lives, to make things better for them before she could really sit down and enjoy her books. That's just an amazing growth, and I loved how this scene just really emphasized and made me look back on her character and how far she's come. That was so well done, I really loved that. Anyway, then back to the beginning of the episode. I absolutely freaking love what Ferdinand did here. Having the green-haired knight, Schizziotza? I literally have no idea how to pronounce the name, so I'm just going to keep referring to him as the green-haired knight. Anyway, he had him start the ritual to replenish the mana in the soil, just to really show what the difference was between him and Myne. And god dang, he was brutal here, telling him to keep going, even to the point where he was about to pass out. And then when he finally decided that he had enough, he literally threw him away. He tossed him aside. Oh my god, that was just stark and freaking amazing. It just really showed that Ferdinand is not somebody you want to mess with. And even more than that, Myne is not someone you want to mess with unless you want to deal with Ferdinand. So that was absolutely amazing. I loved it. Then we actually got to see Myne doing the spell. I mean, every one of the knights was completely slack-jawed as they saw the overwhelming amount of mana she was working with. Even Ferdinand seemed a little surprised just by how powerful she was. I'm thinking back to the season 1 finale. I think Myne took her hand away before the measuring was fully finished, so Ferdinand didn't actually realize till now exactly how strong Myne was. I mean, she covered this entire field in seconds flat, and unlike this green-haired knight who is literally panting on the ground, she just looks a little fatigued. And I do just love that Ferdinand apologized on the ride back. It really does show that he actually does care about her, even if she annoys him to no end. Like once they landed and she was asked if she wants anything in compensation for what she had to go through. And he's like, say no! Say no! She's like, oh yes, I did. What did I just tell you? I'm sorry, Ferdinand, but she has been a student of Benno for far longer than she has been a student of yours. And that merchant spirit is not something that's easily killed. So she gets a replacement robe out of all this and even puts on the whole, oh, my robe is broken. I can't appear in public like this. I'm sure you can help me with this. I worked so hard on having ordered special just for me. Oh, that was adorable. And she is so good at manipulating that knight captain. Maybe we'll end up adopting her. And if so, he's going to be in a lot of trouble with her around. That'd be hilarious. And of course, she has to go through Benno's company. And I can guarantee you that she's not going to have an exact replacement made, but one far, far nicer and more expensive than the one she's currently wearing. Like best silk, best material, top of the line stuff. You know, he's a noble. He can definitely afford that. And his knights almost got her killed, so he deserves a little punishment at least. Oh, I just love Myne. And then just, Jesus Christ. She even tried defending Sir Damuel, telling the captain that, oh, he wasn't really responsible for any of it. He tried to stop him, but there was nothing he could do. He was a lower rank. That was just so sweet and so nice. I really liked that. Green Hair Knight, he can go die for all I care, but the other one at least did not seem to be all that bad a person. Anyway, then Lutz shows up, and not gonna lie, I was hoping for a little bit more here. I mean, Myne, sent a magic signal to him begging for help. Are you freaking kidding me? Myne literally sent a magical signal to him asking for help. I'm gonna say right off the bat that is not simple magic, simply because when Ferdinand and Knight Captain were communicating back and forth, they used a magic bird. I think if this had been an option, they would have done it. So I'm thinking it's like a super high level spell not everyone can perform. I do kind of wish Ferdinand was here in this moment so he could say, you use the instant communication magic? That is very powerful magic indeed. Just like something like that would have been a little more instructive, but I guess the point of it was more to have Lutz be there for her, to give her a hug, to, comfort her after the long, hard day she's had. That was the entire purpose of, her sending out the message like that, but I was still just hoping for a little bit more. And then we go back to the very beginning, the very first episode, the scene that started this entire series with Ferdinand invading Myne's mind. And a very, very small detail I just absolutely love is I went back and watched the first episode, and the scene is actually different. The two flashbacks we see of Myne sitting on his lap and Myne handing out books, they didn't just reuse the scene from the first season. They remade the scene with the actual, flashbacks of things we've actually seen in season 2 of the anime. It's just very weird thing for them to do. A weird thing for them to have changed. And though I guess on one hand it does make sense because the picture books they showed in the first flashback look very different from the picture books Myne ended up making in season 2. So I guess that's why they do it. But just a very nice attention to detail that I really liked. Anyway, then Ferdinand, a priest, takes Myne into a secret room, drugs her, and violates her mind. Yeah, Ferdinand, you are really not helping the whole image of priest here. I'm sorry, man. You just aren't. And just, why? Again, the same issue I had with him last episode. He explained things after he already drugged her and went into her mind. Why? Why can you never explain these things to her before? Last episode, you were so annoyed at her for getting so amazed and wowed by every little thing she saw around her. You could have explained that she was going to see these things. You could have told her, and then you wouldn't have gotten mad because she would have known what she was walking into. She had no idea what was happening, was very confused, and you were mad at her for being confused. Seriously, here again, He waits till she's drugged, and he's inside her mind before he actually bothers explaining things to her. Why can you never explain things ahead of time? Alright. But my anger by that is completely satiated by just this absolutely beautiful scene we get. And this weird line art as they're drawing Myne and talking to the priest like this. It is so cool. It is so different. It's honestly like nothing I've ever seen before, and I just love they went the extra step with this. It is so cool. And then Myne apparently has absolutely no problem with having all of her memories read and completely explaining that she's actually a grown woman in the body of a child from a parallel dimension. That feels like something she's at least trying to be kept secret up to this point, but no, now she's like, alright, I might as well just show him everything. And apparently in a light novel, that meant everything. From what I saw online, there were quite a few people who were annoyed that a scene was cut out from the flashbacks to her past life of Myne in the shower, Summer, what's her name? Urano in the shower. And the head priest was rather flustered by this, while Myne remained perfectly calm. Quite frankly, I'm not sure if I want that scene in here or not. Fan service for the point of fan service, especially in a series like this that has done so well without it, is never something I would want to see, but at the same time, just hearing the head priest get so flustered about a scene like that would be absolutely hilarious, and I'd love that. Anyway, then she shows him some scenes of her life, including a freaking library, which she describes as having more books than even the Nobles Academy. Yeah, he's a little overwhelmed by everything he's seeing inside her head. And that's especially true when Myne, loses control and is super sad and guilty about how she treated her mom. And just feels this overwhelming awfulness that's passed on to him. He looks just absolutely shot after that. He looks like he's about to break down and cry, and oh my god, Myne just coming and giving him a hug like that was so freaking adorable. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can definitely argue whether the hug was more for him or for her because they were both, a little overwhelmed with emotions right there, but it was just so sweet and so cute, and I loved it. These two are just so freaking adorable together, and I really like that. Anyway, then we flash over to Ferdinand once again, dropping the lead here. He's asked, so what'd you find? He responds, nothing but books. Oh, and by the way, she has memories of a whole past life in a parallel world that is way more advanced than ours, and her knowledge can completely revolutionize all of our society, and I think you should adopt her. Seriously? You start off with nothing books, and then you drop that bomb on him? I just mean, Jesus freaking Christ. Ferdinand, I'm not sure if you're really great at conversations or really terrible at them. That was just absolutely hilarious. So yeah, apparently Myne is going to be adopted by the head knights, I guess. Not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. I'm gonna assume that's different than what we saw from, seriously, did we actually... The Merchant Guildmaster's granddaughter, I completely forgot her name. I don't think we actually even saw her once this entire season. That's interesting. But anyway, the relationship she had where she was essentially set up to be a concubine, she'd go to the noble realm and she'd never be able to go back to the common realm, never able to see her family again, always trapped on that side of the wall. I mean, Ferdinand is very well aware of how much Myne cares about her essentially adopted family, so I don't think he'd put her in that situation even if it was to save her life. I'm sure he'd find a way to allow her to go back and forth. And maybe just have the captain adopt her just as a show of support, just as showing, oh, this is my property, she's under my protection. No one mess with her, no one touch her, or you will have hell to pay. And then she doesn't actually have to live with him. Though if she is the adopted daughter of a noble, I'm kind of curious if she could end up going to the Noble Academy. I mean, Ferdinand just mentioned in this episode, and he also said that you couldn't use magic, even if you have mana, unless you graduated from the academy. So Myne might end up learning how to use magic anyway. That'd be absolutely freaking amazing. I mean, the rules of magic in this world are very, very unclear. They seem to need tools to perform any spell, but like the ring they had on in the last episode seemed to be able to perform a bunch of spells, anything could be done to it. So is that like a magical conduit? Do you need the ring? Do you not need the ring? I mean, she did the crushing just by herself, so is there other spells she can do just with her own mana, with her own magical powers? I'm very curious about that. Though seriously, Myne going to a magical academy would change this into a very different series. I mean, she already has the stupidly large amount of mana, the mind of a 20-something-year-old girl, and a lot of experience reading fantasy novels. I think she would very quickly take on the role of an OP anime protagonist, and that would be really amazing to say. Though we still don't actually know if we're going to see that. As far as I know, a third season has not yet been confirmed, but I am really hoping we get one. From what I saw online, the series is divided into 5 separate sections, with this season 2 being section 2, and the 5th one still being in development. So yeah, there's definitely enough material for them to make a 3rd season, even a 4th season. And by the time we get there, probably a 5th season. So yeah, there's still a lot more story to tell, and I really want to continue the adventures of Myne, see what she does next, see what happens to her next. Though I do love that they ended the season, they ended maybe the series itself, with just the orphans making these books. I mean, that's just so utterly perfect, because that's what the series has always been about, Myne wanting books, and now she has an entire sweatshop army of kids making them for her. Slowly but surely, she is going to change the world. Increase the literacy rate, get books in the hands of commoners, have them read, have them become educated, eventually probably have them, overthrow the nobles. That's what I'd like to say, but, nobles have magic power, commoners don't, so kinda doubt that's gonna happen. But let me know what you think all this down below. What'd you think of Season 2? What'd you think of Myne and Ferdinand? I really do love that he's showing that he does actually care about her and, letting his guard down more and more. Very hopeful we're going to get Season 3 and just continue their adventures together, see Myne get adopted into a noble family, maybe go to Noble Academy. God. I mean, there was a whole issue, when Lutz was almost adopted by Benno, so I can't imagine her family would be all that cool with her getting adopted, but, adopted by a noble, that's like life-changing right there. And if they get, documents signed in paper, whatever, saying that Myne's still free to come back and forth, that would really change their opinion on everything. I mean, seriously, Myne could become a freaking noble. That would seriously blow the minds of basically every commoner and every noble and the high priest. Seriously, the high priest is apparently complaining that the green-haired knight is being punished for assaulting Myne. I'm not sure if that's the hill you want to fight on right here, high priest. Because a knight threatened and attacked one of your blue-robed priestesses, or apprentice priestess. I know it was Myne. I know, she's not as well-respected as the others, but still, that sets a very bad precedent that you don't want to, let continue. That your, priests and priestesses are free to be attacked and assaulted and not be punished for it. Just saying. But yeah, let me think of all this down below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the next video. And until then,
peace!